to the channel, and today we are talking about one of the most respected and well-known names in fashion right now, Jonathan Anderson, otherwise known as J.W. Anderson. Now, J.W. Anderson graduated from London College of Fashion in 2007. He then released his brand J.W. Anderson, which we all know, in 2008. Now, he started out with menswear in 2008, but initially with J.W. Anderson's designs, he almost kind of like designed genderless clothing. So a lot of people prompted him to design women's wear, because it's like, well, you're designing menswear, but it basically almost looks like women's wear, or women or men could wear it, so you might as well make some women's wear clothing. And then he went with what the people were saying and then started a women's wear line in 2010. J.W. Anderson likes designing genderless clothing because he has even been quoted saying that he prefers fashion to be genderless, and this aim should not be on designing menswear or women's wear, but more just designing a good piece of clothing. Because his collections are so experimental and out of the normal fashion stratosphere, you tend to realize that a lot of the time people don't really understand his designs, which is why his debut collection, he had so many critics and people were saying, oh, this is trash, your collection's trash, this is rubbish, what is this? It's kind of similar to what happened to Craig Green. People didn't really understand his first collection. The same thing happened with J.W. Anderson. But over time, those designs kind of grew on people. And I mean, genderless clothing has been around for a while. When you think of people like Yohji Yamamoto, who was one of the pioneers of making genderless clothing mainstream, he's now inspired people like Craig Green and J.W. Anderson to make genderless clothing. So stuff like this, experimental design, it grows on people. But another drawback to J.W. Anderson's designs is because it's so experimental, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So his collections really fluctuate. One collection can be magnificent and be like groundbreaking in fashion. Another one could be one of the worst collections you've ever seen, essentially. Now, J.W. Anderson's first big break, and this was certainly when I first heard about his brand, was in 2012 when he collaborated with Topshop. So those of you who are unaware, a lot of the times high-end brands that are kind of coming or making their way, and very rarely established brands, do collaborate with fast fashion brands. That's why we've seen a lot of, every year, I think H&M has collabs. We've seen Kenzo and H&M. We've seen Isabel Marant and H&M. We've seen all sorts of brands. So J.W. Anderson had a collab with Topshop in 2012, and because that was a way of him hitting the mainstream market, it kind of blew up, and then more people kind of saw J.W. Anderson. People started looking at his past collections, what has he done? And then the buzz started building around J.W. Anderson. This was certainly when I first heard about his clothes, and I was like, it was quite interesting to see those designs. And in interviews, J.W. Anderson does say things where he believes all fashion should be accessible and it shouldn't be elitist. The collaboration with J.W. Anderson and Topshop blew up so much, Vogue covered it. And that was the first, like I said, it was his big break. Vogue covered it. A lot of other fashion magazines then followed suit. Now, Jonathan Anderson does not just run his own brand. He has also been a creative director at Loewe since 2013. Loewe is a Spanish brand, and if you want me to get more into it, comment down below and I'll make a separate video on Loewe. In my opinion, from a design aspect, J.W. Anderson is very smart. He designs genderless clothing. He's very unconventional with his designs. What has disappointed me over the years is he has been getting more and more commercial. As I said, J.W. Anderson is someone that believes that fashion shouldn't be elitist, it should be accessible to everyone. And I think he's gone too far, because I feel like as a fashion designer, which is what I would have loved to see from J.W. Anderson, to be honest, is you have two sides. So you have commercial things you do and then less commercial things you do. So I feel like his fashion shows, his main fashion shows, should not be commercial. Those should be him showcasing his experimental designs, and then he'll have those pieces that he releases every year that are commercial, like the sweatshirts with just the J.W. Anderson print on it and stuff like that. And the fact that his recent collection, his most recent collection, was just commercial across the board. I get that he's trying to sell, but also I don't want him to lose his design integrity, because people will then forget how good of a designer he actually is. J.W. Anderson has actually had a collaboration with UniQlo more recently as well. I think it was last year or the year before. And he also has an ongoing collaboration with Converse. And those are the two things that people know him for. And I feel like as a fashion brand, it's a very good idea to collaborate with a well-known sneaker company, because I know, for an example, A Cold War that not a lot of people know about. A lot of people have been asking me, oh, what's A Cold War? I see you wear it. I saw that they had that sneaker with Nike. So you won't realize, but as a big brand, collaborating with sneaker companies that are well known can actually push your brand forward. And I really like the designs of his different Converses that he's done. He's done like 4 or 5. But every season he's done some really good stuff. I really like the toy collection, and also the one where he did like the graphic prints. It had the J.W. Anderson print all over it. I think what J.W. Anderson is most known for within fashion circles is his hits that have been accessories. So with Loewe, that he's a creative director of, and now I think he's even been promoted to director of the boards of Loewe. I think he was promoted in 2017. And he had this bag called the puzzle bag that was a big hit with Loewe. And then also at J.W. Anderson, his big hit was a bag that is called the Pierce bag. So I think that was a good move for even people just telling him. As I said, he started his collections in 2008 and then he moved on to women's wear in 2010. It's a good idea that people told him to do that, because 2010 was also when he started making accessories. So I think he's done himself some good. I mean, he's a busy person running Loewe and J.W. Anderson side by side. It's kind of like Virgil Abloh running Off-White and Louis Vuitton. It's a tough schedule, but I'm looking forward to what is coming in the future for J.W. Anderson. So that's all I have to say about J.W. Anderson. I could talk about more stuff. I could tell you all his awards, like him winning British Designer of the Year for J.W. Anderson and Loewe, but that's all information you can Google. So I'll leave the more simpler stuff for you to Google. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel if you like fashion content and you like to watch reviews about fashion designers. I tell people who fashion designers are, what different brands are, what those brands bring to the table. And yeah, so if you like that, like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post another video. And that's it. Quickly, I forgot to add, because I've noticed that on all these videos I talk about designers and brands and stuff, people then comment what runway show should I watch or what should I check out. Now, a good app to have is Vogue Runway, because if you use Vogue Runway, you can just go through the pictures of the fashion show. And one I will suggest to look at is the J.W. Anderson AW13 collection, or FW13, depending on what it says. But yeah, that's probably a fashion show I'd say to check out. Like, that's a very polarizing one. But yeah,